So the big question is this: how do passionate golfers like you and I develop a stock shot day in and day out? A stock shot that's as reliable as the sun coming up in the morning. That's the question, and this podcast is the answer. Welcome to Stock Shot Secrets. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Stock Shot Secrets, and we are going through how tour players think when they are playing in an important event. Now, by the grace of God, I got to compete, maybe 2 weeks ago in my U.S. Open qualifying, and I had you guys on my brain, quite frankly, which is a little creepy, the whole time. Why? Because I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff that I have learned over the years by my mentors of like ways and things and tactics to make sure that I am playing golf to the highest level that I can. And I was like, I wish that there was like a teleprompter going through all of this stuff so that I could regurgitate and tell you guys, because it would dramatically help your game. And here we are. Now, I'm trying to recoup as much thought as I can, so I'm going through each hole, through the warm-ups, how I'm going about my business. And the truth is that while I'm going through this, quite frankly, in an excruciating amount of detail, some will love this, some may hate it, I'm trying to show you, like, these are the things, the emotions that go through the player's brain, and your brain too, that allow you to play good or bad. Now, the difference, probably the biggest thing with all of this stuff, is that first and foremost, is that to play good golf, you have to have great timing. All tour players have made their inconsistent golf swings perfectly consistent. The second piece is that the reason I am able, and I'm not boasting by any means, but the reason why I am able to go through this round with an excruciating amount of detail is because over the years, probably to a fault, quite frankly, I have been super introspective as to what my emotional state is while I'm playing. Because as I said in the previous episode, and if you haven't listened to that episode, you should probably stop, go listen to that one, and then come back to this one, right? Because that was the warm-up leading into this one. But as I said in the previous episode, professional golf, or competitive golf for that matter, is like the most narcissistic sport ever. And the reason I say that is because it's all about getting you into a state. And you could say that not even about golf, just like athletics. Whether you're playing in the NFL, NBA, MLS, NHL, college golf, high school golf, it doesn't matter. They're all narcissistic in some form or fashion because of the fact that you're trying to prep yourself and get yourself in a perfect emotional state so that you can play good golf. Now, where we left off on the last time was I was getting ready to tee off for the U.S. Open. Now, I haven't played golf in 6 months, right? I hit balls on grass once. So we did buy a product that we put into the house called the net return, which if you don't want a net, the net return is incredible. And I'm not getting paid to say that. Like, it's an amazing golfing net for the side of the house. So if you are looking one, it's really, really good. I really would highly endorse it. But that's about it, right? Hitting some balls next to my house after dinner, a couple range sessions, one on grass, and that's it. So I gotta get myself, my swing is my swing. And I gotta make it so that I can have a swing that is reliant on no tension, and I'm just swinging with great tempo, like very loose tension, and which allows me to have great timing and great balance. So now I'm teeing off. Now when I tee off, I'm nervous, like really nervous. Why? Because I care, right? Like I'm not like, it's not like it used to be where it's like if I missed a putt, I didn't eat. Like, I'm going to eat if I play bad. Like, my wife still loves me. My wife loved me before. If I play bad, she's still going to be there. My kids, they could care less, right? My son kind of cared, but because he was there. But, like, the point is I'm nervous because I care. So I hit my tee shot, flare it a little bit to the right, and quite frankly, I was like, oh, good. I made contact, right? So, like, I kind of hit it out to the right, hit it up there, hit on the green, and, like, my hands are kind of like this, right, while shaking. And I take the 15-footer and I hit it like 2 feet short, which was a really bad putt for me, right? But I understand that the reason being, and I am trying through this, I sense on the first green and through the hole, like, man, I am nervous. Like, my hands are shaking but I'm trying. I understand, and I have the awareness that I am nervous. Have the awareness of my emotional state, and now I have my defense mechanism, like my tactics, my strategy, like my army, to beat the nervousness. I don't know if that's a word, but it sounds like it, right? And that is through the act of like belly breathing and trying to get as much oxygen into my body to do so. And sometimes you're trying to do this, and it's sometimes, like I can't say it's going to go away, but it certainly helps the journey a lot, right? So I'm doing this, and I make a par. I go to the second hole, and I'm doing it, and I remember going through, and I hit my drive. I get out to the fairway, and when I get out to the fairway, you guys will like this because I'm burning this to your brain, so it just shows that I'm not like a hypocrite. I'm literally in the fairway, and I am talking to myself in the fairway through the think box. And the reason I'm doing that is the coaches at the golf room and we have a funny joke because when you come and get a lesson and like we hit a shot like a 7-iron or a wedge or a chip or a putt, we make a lot of them. And the reason we do that is not because like all the teachers at TGR are really good, but it's more so because we're talking about it and we have created this picture in our brain where we are seeing exactly what the shot should do. And then we're like, see, here's how you do it. And then we hit it, and it's like, it goes in. So I'm like, I'm going to do that same thing where I'm going to articulate what I'm trying to do on the golf course. So I'm like, on the fairway of 2, I'm like, hey, I did this on 1 too, but I was like, how's my lie? And I go, oh, it's good. I'm in the fairway. I go, okay, where do I want to land it? And I got my yardage book. So in the yardage book, with a pin sheet, I don't know if you guys have seen a pin sheet, but it's a piece of paper. It's got circles in it, and then it'll have a line and like a side line. It'll say like it's 10 on the straight line, and then it'll have like 5. So it's like 10 on and 5 from the left. So on that hole, I was 150 yards away from the hole, 156 actually. And I go, where do I want to land it? I go, I want to land it at 142, right? Or I'm sorry, 152. I was 156. I wanted to land at 152. I should have brought that sheet so you guys could see it. And I go, okay, now where do I want to aim? Well, the baseline is 8, and the pin was 5. So I go, I'm going to aim 3 paces to the right of the pin. And I'm going to aim at this tree. I can still see it right here. And I take my club, and I hit it, right? I go, it's 156, and I said, what is it into the wind, right? And it was 10 miles an hour into the wind, which was playing 170. It was 156. It was playing like 168. So I go, I'm going to just chip a little 7-iron. So I chip a 7-iron, and I kind of pull it. And I go, hey, that's pretty cool because I pulled it, but I pulled it to where it was on the fringe of the green. Now, if I would have aimed at the flag, I would have been in the rough, short-sided, and probably made bogey. But because I had the proper target, I was hitting to the left, and it hit me on the green. I had like a 12, 15-footer for birdie. I was like, hey, man, this course management stuff, this actually works because that just saved me a shot. Just because I pulled the shot, but I pulled it because I had to pick the right target, it saves me a shot. So I do that, and I make par. Go to the next hole, make a par. Go to the par 3, right? I hit up a shot and hit it kind of fan a 5-iron from 197 or 98, I think. And I have like a 60-footer. Hit it 6 feet short, missed the putt for par, and I make my first bogey. But I immediately kind of bounce, and I go, I missed it. But like, that's okay. Like, I hit a really good putt. So immediately after I hit a shot, that cost me a stroke, I immediately went to a state of gratitude where I was like, or like something of confidence, like, that's okay, like I hit a good putt, just didn't go in, right? So I hit my next shot on the thing. I hit a drive, and I hit a that was the par 4, and then I hit an 8-iron short of the green. I chip up, make par. I missed it short. I kind of was in between clubs in a very narrow green. And I remember looking to my dad and my son Adler on hole 5, and I go, this is hole 5. Now, I've been on the golf course for an hour and 10 minutes, probably, hour. And I go, okay, I think the nerves have now worn off. I've been playing golf for an hour, 5 holes. So if you're trying to think that, like, players don't play under nerves, they do. And that's in all athletics. So I'm trying to get into the rhythm of the round, right? So as I'm going through this, right, there's things happening, and like I'm going through my think box, play box, memory box. So like I'm saying, hey, what's my lie? Where's my landing spot? What's the trajectory? What's the club? And I'm doing this thing like fast, right? It's funny. The people on Instagram, they're like, this guy would take so long to do this. And I'm like, this literally takes me 4 seconds, right? So it's like I shoot the pin, 156. I need to land at 152. It's into the wind, 10 miles an hour. That's 164. That's an 8-iron. right? So like that's how long this is happening in my brain. But when I'm talking to you guys, obviously I'm taking like an enormous amount of detail to tell you about this so that you guys can kind of see the systems and processes of what you're doing as a player. Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying this episode of the Stock Shots Secrets podcast. If you are enjoying it, be sure to like this episode. Be sure to subscribe so you can always see when they're coming out. And most importantly, if you would be so kind to be able to share this podcast with other passionate golfers who are trying to get better and build stock shots, because it grows through you sharing it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now back to Stock Shot Secrets. So I'm doing this, but like as I'm playing the round, I'm constantly managing my adrenaline levels as I'm playing, right? So like sometimes my adrenaline's high and sometimes it's low. So I notice on hole 8 that I hit a pitching wedge. It was I hit a pitching wedge 138 and I was 141 to the spot. And I was, even with all the wind and everything, and I was like, I'm going to hit pitching wedge, and I'm going to hit it hard. And I hit an amazing shot, and it was short of the green, and I kind of showed a little emotion at the time, and I was like, God, dude, like, because it was like a green right pin. Like, the flag was in the perfect spot. Like, the angle was good, and I was like, this is like, I should just eat this shot up. And I missed the opportunity. I hit short. I chip up. I make par, but I was upset. So, like, I sensed that my adrenaline levels go high. Then the next hole, I hit a drive down the middle, blister drive. Then I pull the next shot. I pull it on the green still, but like 40 feet. And I'm like, okay, I hit a shot. I kind of hit a bad putt. I hit it to like 5 feet and then that 40-footer and then make the putt. But now I've got like 2 or 3 shots where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like losing some of my mojo, right? Like I'm kind of grinding, if you will, to like make these pars. I go to 10. I take a hybrid because it's like dog leg left and I'm going to hit it out there about 225 to the corner, and I kind of hit it, pull it just a hair into the rough, and I'm like, man, that was my tension, was my tempo was faster on that one too. So now I'm starting to see that the temperature of like the pan, like it's starting to get hotter, right? Because I haven't made did I make a birdie up to this point? I hadn't even made a birdie at this point. So I shot 1 over on the front, and I'm like, it's just nothing but pars, and I'm like, well, this is boring. I want to make some birdies, but like I can sense that I'm getting antsy. So now, because I have the awareness of where my emotional state is and my adrenaline levels and all that stuff, I go to the side of 10, right? Because I hit a bad shot. So what do I do in my memory box, folks? I ACL it. I assess it, I correct it, and I leave it. I assess it. I go, oh, my tempo was a little fast. So then I go over to the side and I correct it. So I go over there and I do some Tai Chi swings. My playing partners are like hitting. They can't see me, of course, because I don't want to disrupt them, right? And I make 2 or 3 swings like really slow. And I'm talking about like backswing, downswing, finish, right? And I make 3 of those. And what I'm doing there is I'm doing the art of Tai Chi, which is like I'm trying to slow down because I'm starting to go higher. And when I do that, it starts to like the round, like the next few holes start to go better, right? And I start to like string some shots together and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Now, what ends up happening is on hole 14 or 15, right, I have 1 bad lapse. And what happens is this hole where it's kind of a dog leg right and then left, and like the OB really cuts into the fairway. And we're one of the last 3 groups, and I'm on the tee box, and I'm kind of indecisive, and I'm indecisive because essentially for no reason, like it's not his fault, he wasn't doing anything wrong, but like the rules official had driven up, and he drove up because we were the last 3 groups, and he was like, what else am I going to do, right? Like I'm just here. We hadn't had a rules official there all day. But like I was kind of sitting there, and he was occupying my attention because I was like, why is he here? Like, are we doing something wrong? Like, are we behind? You know, like a rules official to me is kind of like seeing a sheriff when you're driving like 65 and a 45, and you're like, right? So like he's occupying my decision making. So like I see him, and I'm like, I'm trying to go through my routine, but I'm not there. Like he is what I'm paying attention to, not me. And I'm doing this, and I'm kind of rushing my routine. And I rush my routine, and I pull a shot like 15 yards. It's the one shot on the round of golf you can't pull. I pull it, I go OB, and it's not because of my golf swing. It's because I was not prepared to hit the shot. I let an external factor influence my shot. So once again, like it goes to the fact of like sometimes, and I'm going to continue with it, but like sometimes you sit there and you go, I'm playing bad, my swing's bad. And it's like, your swing's fine, man. Like what the problem is like you're the problem. Like you are the issue. Like either A, like maybe you're not doing your think box. Maybe like you're over the ball, like not making a good decision. You're like, is this 138 or 142? Good luck hitting a good shot when you got that going through your brain. Or it's like you're on the play box and you're like I was, and you're like, you're distracted by the rules official. Or maybe like your emotional resiliency and your self-talk and your memory box is crap, right? Like you hit a bad shot on the Saturday, like when you play with your son, you're like, it's fine. But then like you hit a bad shot, the same shot, same quality shot, and you do it with your buddies, and you're like, God, I suck. This is the worst. I can take lessons. I know you get better. And it's like, or maybe you had a bad shot, and it's because you're distracted because like you hear a car going by. Well, maybe you're distracted because you haven't eaten anything in 5 hours. So like your emotional state is fragile because you're malnourished. Or maybe you're dehydrated. Or maybe you didn't sleep very good last night. Or maybe you got a text from work. Or maybe your wife is chewing you out. Or maybe you just got done screaming at your kids. Or maybe there's a thing at work. There's a lot of factors that go into playing good, right? And on this one, I had nutrition and I had all that stuff. But I let an external factor have an internal issue, which was it got me off my game. And it ended up costing me. It ended up costing me quite a bit, right? I hit a provisional after that OB ball. I hit the same shot, pulled it again, found that one, and then luckily I stuffed a wedge, the best shot of the day. I stuffed a wedge from 86 yards to a foot, tapped in for bogey. And then I went on and have like 2 or 3 birdies coming in and ended up missing it by a shot. Right? But I missed it by a shot because of that one shot. Like the one shot with the rules official, which stinks. But it's also sport. It's not his fault. It's my fault. Right? So I want to share this more so just to say that like when you're on the golf course, when we go, like we took our kids to our Academy Cup about a couple months ago, we took them to Florida. And if you come to the golf room and you're doing an experience with me and we go to do a playing lesson, or if you're coming to TGR Live and you're coming to the 4-day golf school that we do, or you're doing a mini experience with Mitch here at the golf room, and we go on the course, like you're going to hear us say, like, we're going to try to burn these patterns into your brain. Like, hey, we're on the course and we're on a tee box. How's your lie? And you go, pretty good. I'm on a tee box and it's teed up. I go, okay, good job. We did that one. Good. Where do you want to land it? What's the loft? Like LLLC. What's the loft? What trajectory do you want to hit? Great. What club? And they go, 8 iron. I go, good. You got it? And they go, yep, I got it. And I go, okay, now you need to, and this is what we'll say, the mantra, time to get into your state and see it before you hit it. So getting in your state, that means like now you're starting to breathe and you're trying to get into this meditation state so that you can play at your highest level of ability. And then your play box, my performance routine through the day, I would bet you real money that if you were videotaping me for the entire day and I hit 72 shots that day, I would bet you that I'd bet you $10,000 that my routine out of 72 shots, I bet you that 98% of them were all the exact same. Same waggles, same look, same breath, same time visualizing, same everything. And to like, and it's not because it's subconscious, only because I practice it so much, right? So like I would close my eye, like stand behind it, like, and I would like fog my eyes. Like right now I'm fogging my eyes if you're watching, right? And I'm fogging and seeing what a good shot looks like, right? Because we talk about that. That allows you to enter your motor cortex. And then I would do and execute the shot. And like that stuff is what like tour players are doing day in and day out, and it's subconscious. And that's why they are able to play to their highest level of their God-given skill. Everybody's level of God-given skill is different, right? Scotty Scheffler's potential is way more than mine, right? I mean, I tried to be as good as I possibly could be at the game of professional golf, or the game of golf. And I got pretty good, but it wasn't good enough. And that's okay, right? That's like God's plan on my life. So the point being is that we need to have all of these things in line so that you can play to your utmost potential. And I just want to give you a glimpse into my brain through these rounds of golf so that you can understand, and maybe you can start to first and foremost build awareness that you need to have like when you're playing the game of golf. Because then once you have an awareness of it, like if you have an awareness of your self-talk, awareness that your think box sucks, awareness that your memory box sucks, awareness that you have too much adrenaline or not enough adrenaline, like all those things, then you can start to build the battle plan to beat those things in the round. And you have to be able to articulate that and write that. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. I didn't know either at one time. But luckily, I had people in my life that helped me navigate the way, and we want to help you navigate the way, right? So you could just email us at info@thegolfroom.com. You could do this anywhere in the world and set up a meeting with Sean, right? Sean's been on the Stock Shot Secret Show, and you could see him. Like he can help build these plans for you anywhere. So just send us an email at info@thegolfroom.com, and we can do that if you want. No pressure. I'm just saying. So, but you do need to have these plans in order for each and every part of your game. All right? So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you back here for another episode of the Stock Shot Secrets. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of Stock Shot Secrets. Now, as a listener of Stock Shot Secrets, I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get better. So if you were to go to stockshotclub.com, I'm going to give you 7 days free access where you can send us your video and we will give you personalized individual attention as to what you need to do so that you can start building stock shots. So just go to stockshotclub.com and register there. We'll give you 7 days free where you can try it. And then if we like it, you can stay inside the Stock Shot Club where we can become your coach and walk with you for your entire journey. Thank you so much. And be sure to go visit stockshotclub.com.